What's going on, folks out there? I'm Amos Morale III, and welcome to the Recruiting Corner, Under Armour All-America Game edition. I'm joined by NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune recruiting analyst, James Smith. James, how's it going today?
Favorite time of the year, man. 5 weeks before National Signing Day. A lot going on. Favorite time of the year.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. We've got the Under Armour All-America Game. Several kids attending that game. Several of those prospects are from Louisiana, and there's some guys that LSU is looking after. So, who's like the biggest name?
I think you have to start with Warren Easton wide receiver Tyron Johnson. You know, the state's top prospect, arguably the top wide receiver in the country. Real huge need for LSU in this class. They had a couple good wide receivers last class. Nobody that can create in space like Tyron. So he's definitely their biggest target. And LSU commitment Kevin Tolliver, cornerback from Florida, one of Tyron's best friends. So I expect him to be in his ear throughout the whole week. Tyron is scheduled to make his announcement. It wouldn't surprise me if he pushed that back, but he is expected to make his announcement as it stands now at the Under Armour game, and I feel like LSU's in a pretty good position.
All right, there's a couple other LSU targets that'll be making their announcement during the game. I believe one of them is an Anthony Wheeler from Skyline. Another one's Kendall Sheffield, a quarterback out of Texas, who LSU's in on along with Florida State, Alabama. So should be an interesting time during the game. A lot of fans are going to be tuning in to see if LSU lands any of these guys. But who's some of the other names that you will be looking forward and looking at how they perform throughout the week in practice?
You know, Nick Perset, longtime LSU commitment, U-High running back, was extremely productive throughout his prep career here in the state of Louisiana. It'll be interesting to see how his game translates, at this level with this type of talent on the other side of the ball. He does play at U-High. I wouldn't say it's a cupcake schedule, but he doesn't have the toughest competition to face on a week-in, week-out basis. So it'll be his first time to really showcase himself and his abilities against other 4- and 5-star caliber players. So I expect Nick to really go in with a chip on his shoulder and prove that he's one of the elite running backs in the country.
All right, let's talk about some guys on the other side of the ball. We've talked about the offensive guys. Let's talk about some guys on the other side of the ball. Who are some of the guys that LSU fans are going to be wanting to follow you and follow us in our coverage for?
You know, I think 2 out-of-state prospects probably will draw more attention from LSU readers throughout the week. Dalen Mack, defensive tackle from Texas, and Leo Lewis, a linebacker from Mississippi. These are LSU's top 2 defensive targets left on their board at this point. You could argue that both are 5-star caliber prospects at positions of need. So I think Dalen Mack's going to go out there. He's going to probably put on a show. He's really explosive off the ball, and with these offensive lines getting newly acclimated with their fellow offensive linemen and try to build that camaraderie, it's going to be hard for them to stop a guy like Dalen Mack who can get so much penetration. And then Leo Lewis, Ole Miss linebacker commitment, scheduled to take an official visit to LSU following the Under Armour All-American game. There's been a lot of talk lately that LSU could indeed be the leader, even though he's committed to Ole Miss. My sources in Mississippi say LSU's definitely a player here. So those will be 2 top defensive targets that a lot of LSU fans will want to pay attention to.
All right. Now, is there anybody on the offensive side of the ball in terms of the linemen, the guys in the trenches that LSU fans are going to want to be?
Yeah, I mean, my team, there's a huge need at offensive tackle for LSU in this class. The only pure one at this stage that they have committed is Maya Teima from Texas, and he's an absolute road grader. It'll be interesting to see how we can handle some of these quicker linemen like the Dalen Macks and some of these bull rushes, some of these big, powerful linemen. I think he's going to be college ready. This will be a good time to show that with the elite level of competition he'll be facing that week. So he'll definitely be paving the way for a lot of those running backs and protecting those quarterbacks during that game.
All right, and his brother is currently at LSU, and Sione Teuma. So he's got strong connections to the Tigers already. So a lot of fans I know are going to be interested in seeing how he performs against those top caliber prospects. One position group I guess fans are always looking out for, especially after LSU's offensive struggles this year, was the skill positions, particularly wide receiver. Any other guys? I know you mentioned Tyron. Any other guys LSU's in on or trying to get in on?
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument who the top receiver is in the country. You could go with Tyron Johnson from Warren Easton. Calvin Ridley from South Florida is considered to be among the elite. And then you have DeMarcus Lodge from Texas. LSU has a commitment from his close friend and high school quarterback in Justin McMillan. They'd really love to get into the sweepstakes for DeMarcus Lodge at this point. I do think they are in the hunt. Looks like it could be a 3 or 4 team race with Ole Miss, Baylor, LSU, and Texas coming on strong here towards the end. So he's definitely going to be one to watch out for. And between him and Tyron, they should be able to put on a show in an event like this.
All right. And then any other Louisiana kids going to be out there that fans might be interested in checking out?
Yeah, Dalen Charlotte, one of the big LSU Tiger targets from the summer, committed to Alabama from Patterson, a dynamic wide receiver. He was one of the late additions to the roster, but he can flat out play. LSU's in a big battle with Alabama right now for his services. It's almost a coin flip, depending on which day you speak with him, and Dalen's going to put on a show as well. So there's going to be a lot of wide receiver targets that LSU's going after right now that should be able to make an impact in this week's game.
All right, folks. Well, that's about all the time we'll take from you today. Be sure and check out all of next week's content, as well as the Recruiting Corner we'll be shooting live from Orlando. And all the exclusive videos, feature stories, live updates. We'll be handling all that from practice, the skills challenge, everything. So just be sure and stick with us at NOLA.com/recruiting throughout the whole week for the whole week-long events and activities. And until next time, I'm Amos Brown III. That's James Smith. Thanks for watching.